Manifesto on the Education of Foreigners in the West. 1. The theft of the people's wealth. The universities of the West are monuments to the labor of generations, built not by kings or oligarchs but by the sweat of ordinary men and women. Yet these institutions, funded by the blood and toil of native taxpayers, have become tools of exploitation. Year after year, foreign students flood into these halls, their tuition waived, their costs borne by the very people whose children struggle to afford an education. Who pays for this largesse? The factory worker whose wages stagnate. The shopkeeper whose taxes rise. The farmer who toils from dawn to dusk. They are forced to subsidize the enlightenment of strangers, while their own sons and daughters drown in debt. This is not equality, it is robbery. The wealth of nations is siphoned away, enriching foreign elites under the guise of charity. The time has come to end this theft. The people must reclaim what is rightfully theirs. Their universities, their resources, their future. 2. The betrayal of the native scholar. In the sprawling campuses of the West, the native student wanders like a ghost, pushed aside to make way for the foreigner. Scholarships vanish into the pockets of strangers. Seats in lecture halls are filled by those who speak a different tongue. The futures of our youth are sacrificed upon the altar of global citizenship. The universities, once temples of national learning, have become marketplaces where the highest bidder reigns supreme. The sons of the West beg for scraps, while the children of distant lands feast at their expense. This is betrayal, not by foreign hands, but by our own. Let us rise and demand justice. Our universities must serve our children first. 3. The great brain drain deception. They come, they take, they leave. The West pours its knowledge into foreign minds, only to watch them vanish like smoke. Back to their homelands, to rival nations, to competitors who laugh as they reap what we have sown. What madness is this? To arm our enemies with our own weapons? To drain our intellect for the benefit of others? For centuries, nations have guarded their knowledge as fiercely as their gold. Yet we, in our folly, give ours away for free. The brain drain is not a myth, it is a hemorrhage. And it must be stopped. For the false god of diversity. The globalists cry, diversity is our strength. But we ask, for whom? For the native student, crowded out of his own classroom? For the working family, whose taxes fund the luxury of strangers? Diversity is but a mask for displacement. It is the weapon of the rootless cosmopolitan, who cares not for the people, only for his own abstract ideals. He worships at the altar of multiculturalism, but he does not live among its consequences. Let us tear off this mask. True strength lies in unity, not division. 5. The parasite elite. Do not be deceived, it is not the poor foreigner who benefits, but the wealthy and connected. The princelings of corrupt regimes, the children of oligarchs, the privileged caste of distant lands, they come not to learn, but to exploit. They take what they please, then flee. And who pays? The common man. Always the common man. This is not charity, it is parasitism. And it must end. 6. The cultural sabotage. Our universities were once the guardians of Western thought. Now, they are battlegrounds where foreign ideologies clash, where history is rewritten, and where the very soul of our civilization is under siege. They teach our children to despise their own heritage, to renounce their ancestors, to kneel before the idols of progress. But what is progress without pride? What is education without identity? We must reclaim our universities, not as centers of globalist indoctrination, but as fortresses of Western culture. 7. The swarming of the cities. They flood our streets, our homes, our hospitals. They drive rents to impossible heights. They crowd the buses, the clinics, the jobs meant for our own. Yet the elites demand more. More foreigners, more strain, more sacrifice, always from us, never from them. This is not coexistence, it is conquest. And it must be resisted. 8. The immigration racket. Education for all, they cry, but it is a lie. It is not education they seek, but a backdoor into our nations. A loophole. A trick. They come as students, but they stay as settlers. They take, and take, and take, and give nothing in return. This is not immigration, it is invasion. And it must be stopped. 9. The suicide of the West. A civilization that refuses to defend itself is doomed. A people that sacrifices its own children for the sake of strangers is already dead. We are told to embrace our own destruction, to call it progress, to call it virtue. We say, no more. The West will not die by its own hand. 10. The call to action. Let the people rise. Let them demand. No free education for foreigners while our own children suffer. No subsidies for those who will never repay them. No surrender of our universities to globalist pillagers. The choice is clear, either we defend our nations, or we perish. Citizens of the West, unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains.